Hello and welcome to Serious Sentiments. This is a odd serious sentiment for me because it's not really super political. It's just a question of something's going on out there with people disrespecting other people's food. Have you noticed this lately? I just read a story a few minutes ago about in Western Pennsylvania at a Walmart, this girl they have on video and an employee followed her. She took potatoes and went and pissed all over them and tried to put them back and put them. I think they're still looking for her. So you had these people that were licking ice cream and putting them back in the freezers, mainly girls, white girls. This one in Western Pennsylvania who peed on the potatoes, white girl. Now, you say, John, why are you talking about this? And I say, because as I've been driving around the last 3 or 4 years, all around the Minneapolis, St. Paul metro area, everywhere, I've noticed that employees at like fast food restaurants are probably at the worst level of employeeship I've ever seen. I'm scared. Obviously, I'm overweight, so I should probably stop eating fast food anyway. Somebody's trying to tell me something. But, I'm like a lot of weak people. I eat bad. It'd probably be the ruination of me. But I never dreamed of people licking, putting their saliva on somebody else's food, or pissing on it, or God knows what else. You got to use your imagination here. If people are pissing and spitting and licking on stuff, God knows what if they're shitting on it or doing whatever. There has been stories from restaurants and fast food places and delis and stuff like that throughout the years of employees that will like wash themselves in the sink where they do all their cleaning of the tomatoes and lettuce and stuff like that. Their ass is in the sink where you eat your food. People probably shit on stuff. People spit on it all the time. And this is where I'm going to get to my serious sentiment. See, if you're working at a fast food place, the best employees I've noticed over I'm 10, 15 years here now or more, is the morning crews. The ones that have some old, retired mothers, ones that honestly, the ones a lot of fast food places today seem to be Latino, like employee operated or whatever. It's just everywhere I go. It's that barely English, but a Latino accent. Usually women working at like McDonald's or wherever. Okay, fine. I'm not saying anything about anybody's race, color, creed, whatever. About when it comes to being an employee at a place. They're just trying to, you would think, earn money. But I'm really worried about the younger people, 22 on down right now. There is such blatant disrespect for humanity, especially in this country, which, you got media all the time saying white people bad, white people bad, white people bad. Women of color, which means white women are not of that group. Even though white is a color, I guess it's not, it's a new racial term. We've discussed this in my last serious sentiment. But I'm really worried about the younger people because they don't give a shit. They're slow, most of them. And I noticed something very interesting last night. Now, with all this phenomena going on about denigrating somebody's food, it's a way of getting back silently, according to the perpetrator. Like, I pissed in his Mountain Dew. He doesn't even know it. He's probably drinking it right now. Or I put a, hair from my asshole in your Cobb salad. Point being is that when you see this a little bit, you're kind of like, wow, what the hell? When you start seeing it a lot, now we've got a trend, fellas and ladies out there, even though nobody hardly watches these videos ever. I would just say that I noticed last night, I went to McDonald's, and, there's usually a long line. There's 2 lanes, and people merge in, and it takes a long time to get to the window to pay and get your food because there's usually people stacked up waiting. I noticed that they have, when I got up to the window to get the food, I noticed they have a camera that goes right inside, probably to the cashier and probably to the people putting the food together. They're just down separate windows. But this camera vividly shows the inside of a car perfectly. So like through the windshield at the driver or passengers. Well, I know they need these camera systems probably because you also read stories about people freaking out and getting stupid and firing shots and beating up and punching through windows, people at fast food places. So fast food places are going to say, well, we need this security because we have to show that somebody tried to jump through the window and strangle our White Castle worker or whatever. Or somebody didn't like that they got mayo on their burger at Wendy's, so they wanted to shoot up the place. Okay? So they need these video cameras, but here's the problem. Now the workers inside of these places can see the identity of their customers. And therefore, well, with the trend going on, I bet this is running rampant. There's a disrespect for humanity by people who are making $10, $12 an hour on a Saturday night. They don't give a fuck. They don't want to be there. They're probably there because, well, they got a parole officer and they got to show that they're working somehow, or their parents force them to get a job because the parents are sick of giving them money, or whatever. People are corrupted on all sorts of things, especially young people. I mean, you had this Garlic Festival shooter. He's 19. He's a stupid ass shithead. God knows what his beef was. But I'm just saying that when you're younger, you love disrespect. You feel disrespected because you're young and nobody gives you any credit for, maybe how smart you are, or your great thoughts, or your hard work. You're young. You got to pay the price. You got to work your way up. You got to cut your teeth. And people get sick of it at a young age because they're essentially adult in every sort of form except for their brain. Their brain probably hasn't matriculated to adulthood or full sensibilities at a young age. And young people are usually worse to each other and meaner. Point being is, I'm scared about those cameras showing the identity because with the overt hatred of white people now, out there everywhere, I mean just every day, you got to hear white people bad, women of color, I'm a person of color. What the fuck does that fucking mean? We're all colors, but you specifically take the word of, O-F, and you weaponized it racially. Of. Anyway, I'm worried about it. How many people are getting some spit in their malt? My best suggestion would be, and this goes out to me and everybody I know and anybody watching who gives a shit. Be extremely wary, not only of fast food restaurants, and now I guess grocery stores, because disrespectful bastards are just putting their diseases into your food that you think you're buying fresh and nobody's touched it. And will that girl who pissed on the potatoes go to jail? Well, she's a white girl. Yeah, I think she'd go to jail. I mean, how could they not find her? They've got still pictures of her. It's perfect. If they don't have her behind bars soon, well, then they don't want to catch her. Maybe Walmart doesn't want this story going big time. Because I found it today, and I think it happened over the last 2 days. But nobody's talking about it. Okay. Somebody pissed on the potatoes. Walmart has a lot of money. They don't want this story out. Okay? But what I'm saying is be freaking careful. Everything you eat. You might have to go to a fine dining establishment or something that's a little spendier, where they have actual employees who make money and care about the customer. Remember, most waiters and waitresses don't give a shit about the customer. They really don't. They just want their money, get the next table, go back, smoke a cigarette, flirt with some fucking busboy or cook. That's what waiter and waitressing is all about. They're pretty untrustworthy. But when you get lower down to fast foods, I'm telling you, I'm scared. And I would say this goes for a lot of young people who work at like elderly homes and stuff and prepare food and all that. I mean, those people are the most vulnerable, and of course children, but I would say elderly, really elderly, probably get taken advantage of in the same way. So just be aware of it. Remember my theory. I'm not saying to ban the cameras at these fast food places, but I'm definitely concerned because now you're giving an insight to the customer, and you might have somebody that sees, oh wow, this next passenger is a white dude. I hate white dudes. Dude, put your finger in your ass and wipe it all over this chicken sandwich, put the bun down on it tight. He'll never know. You don't think that happens? Are you out of your fucking mind? But it's reached a new level where we need to get concerned as a public, and there needs to be really harsh sentences here. I mean, you take this 19-year-old girl who licks ice cream and puts it back, like 40 of them, just puts them right back in the freezer. 5 years. 5 years prison. 5 years. I mean, I saw a black female judge from Cincinnati get 6 months in prison and get dragged out of the courtroom because it was so bad. 6 months. Give them 5. You fuck with people's food. You put your diseases into people's food because you don't like the color of their skin. Hate crime, at least 5 years. Thanks for watching Serious Sentiments. And I know this isn't like earth-shattering, but it is serious, and you better fucking watch out.